Welcome to the It's Not Me, It's You podcast, a space where we explore the questions couples often avoid in their relationships.
Not the easy ones, the uncomfortable ones that sit quietly under the surface.
Before we chat, a quick note. If you're someone who finds these conversations helpful,
But still notices the same patterns showing up in your life or relationships, we've opened a small number of private reflection sessions.
check the link for details. Also, just to say, there is no right and wrong here.
This is simply an opportunity for us and you to travel through the tougher questions that come up from time to time, the ones we're often too afraid to ask. When you're ready, we can explore some of these questions.
Yep.
It's been great. I haven't seen a lot of these questions, briefly running through them, so it's going to be raw, cold. Some of you have been getting a bit saucy with your questions too. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who you are. You know who you are.
We take it seriously. Send us your questions. We might just have to adapt what people say because, we're trying to keep it PG whilst also keeping it honest. So welcome to season 2.
Absolutely.
Let's go. How does relationship pressure show up in your work or decision making? Interesting.
This is a big one. It's massive. Up to about, between 60 and 80% of people say that relationship pressure shows up in their work. And we're talking about leaders contributing to toxic elements in the culture of their organization.
Yeah.
Trickles down. They're less focused, less clarity. Whew, it just snowballs.
It does. Yeah. You can't have one without the other, right?
No.
Because everything is connected. And I know from my personal coaching experience, I've had clients before that, come about work and wanting to make bigger decisions in their businesses, but you have to go right back. What is going on at home? It's all about the home decision. What is going on? How's your partner, if you have one? How's the children? Because all of that does directly impact work, especially, yes, if you're in a 9-to-5, it also has an impact because how you show up in the world really does matter. But if you are also running a business and people are looking to you for decisions, it has potentially an even bigger impact. So it is really, really important to be aware of those things.
There's this very interesting thing that happens where people feel you're going to work, so switch into work mode. I'm in work mode now. No, you're human. You have feelings. Stuff settles in your body, in your mind, especially if it's unresolved, and it's going to show up.
Yeah, but it's important to be able to switch those things off, right? Because we can't carry it all into work. Do you think it's important to be able to know where your limits are and where your switch is and where your button is to turn it on and off?
I agree. And I feel it's like you're suggesting here, it's awareness. So are we asking, is it just important to make time to become aware? What am I facing? What's going on at home before I even get to work?
Yeah.
What am I going to potentially carry to work if I'm not resolving it? If it's unresolved, then how can I make sure I'm not allowing it to trigger me when I'm there dealing with the pressures of work? Because work has its own pressures.
Yeah, exactly.
And then vice versa. Are you taking work pressure back home? Everyone talks about the pressure going from work to home, but not the home pressure showing up in work often.
Yeah. Why did you look at me when you said that?
That's your lens. I'm gonna. There's no one else to look at. I'm on the show with you.
We've all done it though. Like the amount of time, that you've had a stressful day in the office and whatnot, and then you literally take it home to your partner because at the end of the day, they are the ones in your home space, in your safe space, and they are often the ones that you trust the most to be able to unpack it all with. So I think that's, if you do have that in a partner, I think that's really healthy. But also be aware that you don't need to talk about it for an hour when you get home or even all night because it's not fair on your partner and it's not fair on you, or even if you've got children in the household. Like, give yourself 10 minutes, give yourself some rant time.
Rant
then
Is that what we're calling it now? That's the official.
It is now. And then
Make a
give
show out of
yourself that time. And I've done it before personally, but I'm like,
Really?
Let's have the conversation in the car. Let's have it outside the house because I also don't want to bring that energy
That is true.
into my house. So it is just being really aware of that and say, babe, let's go for a walk. Like, let's walk around outside. Let's go for a 10, 20-minute walk. And then let's go back home refreshed and chilled and have a nice evening together.
You say that about walking and it's so true.
So true. Yeah.
That part of your brain that allows you to just flow and not be too triggered by your environment kind of shifts when you're somewhere neutral, going for a walk, doing the washing up.
Sinking. Those sinking moments. We might need to explain this a bit more, because over the past few weeks, when we've been doing season 1 and we've been releasing season 1, we've been doing a lot of conversations out in town, out in public, with people that are open to sharing their experiences with us. And it's come up a few times where people are literally at home, at the sink, doing the washing or doing the cooking or the cleaning. And then that is when they get their moment of, F this, I'm done. And we actually started saying... We've coined a phrase. When that happens, you are sinking. You are sinking. You feel like you're sinking, and you're also at the kitchen sink, bawling your eyes out, thinking, what am I doing? I need to change my life. So that's just to explain that. Yeah, and there's real science around that. And so before you even get there, now how can you just together create the opportunity to walk and switch into that other side of your brain and have that conversation? Yes, absolutely. We've put together a short guide with 50 questions couples avoid. Let us know which really resonates and how you get on with them. Everyone's relationship and situation is different, so have fun using them as a guide for getting your questions answered in your relationship. And remember to ask yourself the same questions too. When it comes to bedroom intimacy, is there anything you'd like to do, but fear of judgment holds you back? This is a question that I find fascinating because, and again, this is just generalizing, there's an assumption that once you're in a relationship, you shouldn't have to maybe talk too much about feeling embarrassed or feeling judged to ask something for some people. But it's an ongoing process, right? Or is it? You tell me, tell us, is it an ongoing process? Should you be worried about it? Why are you worried about it if you are? Do your tastes change? Should you be worried about your tastes and interests and level of exploration changing? Yeah, interesting. And what do you do if it does change? Because this question is really, it's got a key second part to it, fear of judgment holding you back. That's quite direct in saying that you might feel judged about it. So judgment, we spoke about it last time as well. But if you are even judging yourself about what you may or may not want, you're maybe putting that onto your partner. They might be very open to having that conversation because they also might have needs that maybe have changed and they want to communicate it to you. But it's being aware of the judgment. Are you judging yourself for even wanting to do, be, or have that thing? Or is it okay to do that? Because like you've said, it does change. And like you say, what do you do? I have an experience of a client. She had had her husband go ask her to do some things, or she wanted to do some stuff with her husband. Her husband wasn't comfortable doing it, and so she was thinking about doing it with someone else. And she's like, "What do I do? Do I end the marriage and all of the money, the commitments, the mortgage, the house, and pets and everything else, all of the other stuff, just for bedroom intimacy, right? Or do I talk about it and they're still not interested in going to that place that I want to go to? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you end up living a life of boring bedroom intimacy. Right. Because if that is a high expectation or a big need for you, how are you getting that met? And like you say, what do you do if things do change for you? Do you have to look elsewhere? And if you do look elsewhere, what are the consequences of that? Because if it's an open conversation and you're both aware of it and you're okay for that, then that's perfectly okay as well. But if not, like you say, it might lead to the end of a marriage or relationship. When you watch relationship shows on TV or the reality TV stuff, and I know some of it is fake and so on. No, it's real. But it's real. It's real. Real situations though. Yeah. But they just end up bringing in a relationship coach. And someone turns up like Mary Poppins with a bag full of tricks. Like, all right, I got handcuffs and feathers. Feathers and all kinds of oils. Chocolates. There you go. Take 2 of them and have 1 of them. But, we've actually seen that on these shows, whether they're real or not. And it can really bring people together because I think it's also getting rid of judgment. You've got a task to do. Literally, they call it a task. It's a sexy task. And then it's giving you permission to do it. And a lot of people, it can bring them closer because it's also maybe thinking outside the box where you might not have thought of that before. Right. But actually, it's just giving you permission to just try that thing. Laugh about it, have a joke or whatever, but don't make it too seriously, because that also just lightens the mood, right? And for me, a lot of this question particularly, it just comes back down to like trust and feeling safe and feeling comfortable. Remove the judgment from it. But do I want more or need more? And how do you ask for that? How do you ask your partner? I'm not feeling fulfilled. This isn't anything against you, but can we just switch things up again? It's all about like the delivery of that question, right?
And it's like, it depends on the relationship you have with yourself, how confident you feel within yourself, how much you love yourself. You know, you turn up in some fancy lingerie and your partner looks at you like, what's wrong with you? What you got that on for? Like, what's going on?
Wow.
How are you going to take that? How are you going to introduce things? You know, there's so much that really needs to be considered. But no one prepares you for it, because in the early days, often in your relationship, all of that sensuality happens organically, happens naturally, spur of the moment. But once you're living together, you're working 9 to 5, running a business, kids, commitments, you literally often have to schedule.
Yeah.
You have to schedule your time.
Have a sexy calendar.
All right, Tuesday at 3:15.
Yeah. I love that. Daytime.
We got like
Can't mix it up if you're not at work.
3 minutes of the best lovemaking you're getting this month.
This one, yeah. See you next month.
See you next month, same time.
I think that's really important, though. That's a good, valid point. Like, literally schedule it, especially if you're so busy and you are stressed in other areas of life. The last thing you sometimes want is when you're coming home and you're not feeling good, you're not feeling sexy, you're feeling overwhelmed. You've got housework, you've got to cook, you know, like there's demands and pressures on you at home, not just in the workplace. And then you've got to consider this type of stuff. It can seem a lot. And even that is a good conversation to have. Just say, look, babe, I love you. Don't take this the wrong way. I still find you sexy, but right now I'm not feeling sexy and I'm absolutely shattered. And I just really can't find that extra energy to give you what you want in this moment. Let's maybe have a conversation later, or when we have time away from the kids or extra stress, then let's have that conversation. Because if you're in a relationship, you do want to maintain that intimacy, because it, like you said, it came, it was quite high at the start of your relationship. So it's important to maintain it, to create that physical bond.
And you know, the other layer to this is if there's any kind of resentment that has built up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
In the past.
Yeah.
How are you feeling safe enough to be vulnerable to explore in this way?
Yeah.
You know, if it's still there, you're not going to want to do that.
Exactly. How can you want to be intimate with someone that you're still annoyed with? I'm still pissed off with you. How can I be intimate with you? Get away from me.
Take that, Lucy.
The sight of your face is making me really annoyed right now.
Some people are into that.
You're not. That's another conversation. I'm like, maybe that's another conversation completely. But it's real. I'm not feeling great about you or us right now. Intimacy in this respect is the last thing that I'm thinking of. So maybe you have to go back a few steps and say, do you know what? We spoke about this last season. Last week or last month, this thing happened. I still haven't brought it up yet. I thought I was over it, but I'm not. Have a conversation. It all comes back down to the trust that you can have, opening a conversation like that, and then knowing that if there's unresolved stuff, it is going to impact things going forward.
Then two other bits, cultural, you know, what does your faith dictate around how you express intimacy in that space? You know, you have to maybe be very conservative or not. How you approach that. And then there's trauma. If you've had things happen to you when you were younger, that's unhealed, unresolved. Yeah. You might feel uncomfortable in those spaces, and they're real things.
Absolutely.
That you need to have conversations about.
Definitely. And hopefully they are conversations that you can have if it feels right early on, because the last thing you want is to be fully committing to someone or a situation and relationship and you haven't dealt with all of that stuff, so that for you or your partner, if you're not able to maybe address those things in the early days when you're, you know, still kind of serious and getting to know each other, but you're not fully locked in yet and married with 3 kids, then it's harder to maybe walk away from a situation. But it's important to have these conversations. If they come up, then have the conversations early doors, in my opinion. If you've found your way here and you're enjoying the conversations, please subscribe, share the podcast, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss future episodes.
You can also drop your questions in the comments below, and we'll do our best to explore them.
Now, let's go.